go live. All right, we are live. It's always amazing to me whenever I'm alive. It's not that I'm alive, but that I'm live on the video with you all on the internet. So today is June 12th. We're racing through June. It's amazing. June 27th is my birthday, so it's coming up. There you go. This is my one of I like June. I like all summer. I really like the summer months. And I love fall. I love summer. Hi, good evening, beautiful Tori. Thank you, Arlene. Thank you to you. How are you? Hi, Eric Levitt from Culver City, California. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Hey, Dan. I love it. Good to see you here. Love it. And I had lunch together today. It was fun to see her. Yep. And Arlene, my birthday is June 17th. All right. Happy birthday early. Yours is really coming up very, very soon. Good. Well, so you're Cancer? Are you a Cancer, Arlene? The Rock. Hi. Never in from PA. All right. You've got a June 18th here. All right. Happy birthday early, Danny Eli Illuminati. Cool. My son's birthday is the 23rd of June. All right. I love my Cancers. Yep, me too. Hi, Arlene, you're Gemini. Okay, because it's earlier. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm more on the end of the month for the Cancers. But I'm very happy with my birthday and when it is. And, I'm a water person. And so it totally fits. And this, love it got for me today as a little surprise. So there you go. So anyway, today I'm going to be talking about Scientology and death and kind of a Q&A. So I want you guys to ask me any questions you have about Scientology. I can tell you a little bit about it if you want. You let me know if you have questions now or not. My grandpa's birthday was June 1st. He would have been 107. He passed in 2005 at 88. I bet, but you've got to celebrate his life. I mean, that's a great life. 88 years is a really good life. I think I really believe in that, in celebrating lives when people live that long. That's a good long time to live. Yeah, I know you miss them. I miss my grandfather too. I miss my parents. It's one of those things that's part of death that I think is really hard, is missing the person that takes off. But I always talk to them anyway. I always feel like they're around. Hi, Sophie from New Zealand. How are you? Thank you for your hearts. Hi, Mike Ten Dude. All right. How big was it in Canada at its peak? You mean are you talking about Scientology? How big was it? I have no idea. Oh, love it. Your grandpa's birthday was in June 1st also. Wow. That's cool. A lot of birthdays in June. It makes sense. I mean, it's a good time to, you figure it's, 9 months earlier. Can you explain the whole mess that's going on with the protests and GOP 86, please? No, I can't. I have as much confusion on it as you do. So I'd rather let it just settle out a little bit. And I actually told DOA that to just take a break, rest. And I've told a few people that, just take a break from it for a little bit. Let's let things settle out a little bit before everybody gets into this is what it is and that's what it is. It's like, it's so easy, especially when you're exhausted, which he was, and I think he still is. It's like you need to sleep and rest and kind of recover. And then you can look at it all. But I'm not going to get into that tonight. The topic is on Scientology and death. And it's a Q&A on that. Oh, thank you, Selma from the Netherlands. Very cool. And Sophie, you miss, yeah, I know we all do. That's true. All right, how do Scientologists repress the resentment they must feel when someone they've been forced to disconnect with passes? I'd imagine that's got to hurt. Does anybody ever honestly express that? I don't think so. It's really weird with disconnection because Scientology in general, let me just make this statement. Hi, Dia Flawless. In general, they're very weird on death because they often, hi, Dee Dee, I'm doing good. Yeah, I am. They often don't talk about it. So people die and you don't even know it. I think I've mentioned this many times because of my friend Steve Miller. And Steve, if you ever hear this, call me or contact me because I want to talk to you if you're out. He's probably still in. But anyway, he was like a correction officer at AOLA. And, he would go, Tori, you've got to come here. All these people are dead. And he'd start listing out all these people that I knew. And it was like, how could this be that these people are dead? It was just really shocking to me. And I finally went and asked Dr. Denk, what the hell's going on here that these people are dying as much as they are? And I think I've told you guys this, where he said, look, everyone who comes to me and wants to do all natural handling of cancer, which is most Scientologists, are dead. Some of them that did some medical, some natural, some lived, some died. Those are our statistics. That's it. And that's what he said. And I understand as a doctor, they have to, hi, Melissa, they have to, respect what the person wants, whether they think it's right or not. Was there anyone in Scientology that died so young or old that was dealing with a lot of trauma? I know one mother whose baby died on Christmas at 2 years old. And that was pretty traumatic for everyone. But it ended up being really cool. It was a really, I would tell you, but it's kind of, some people wouldn't really understand it. And it was kind of neat though, the way it worked out, because well, I'll just tell you. I went into session. I was on OT7 and everyone was crying on the flag land base because this boy had died and they had a ton of trauma on it, all the people. And I'm going to have to come back to these other ones because I want to finish the story. So I go into session and I come out and I just feel someone's in the room and I go, okay, what's up? And I get, just tell my mother, take 2. I said, okay. So I knew his mom. So I run into her and I said, Shell. And she went, oh my God, you gave me a hug. She goes, you are the only person on the flag land base that isn't crying. And I said, well, it's a little weird, but I have a message from your son. And she said, what is it? And I said, he just said to tell you, take 2. And she goes, oh my God. Thank you so much. And I said, I don't really know what it even means. And she said, well, what it means is my husband, that's the communication I got from my son, was to take 2. And he apparently the child knew that he had an aneurysm or his body did, and he was going to end up dying anyway. And that had already happened once before. So he was just like, I'm not going to do it again. So it was just like, let's just create another body. So she told that to her husband. Her husband said, no, I've had a vasectomy. I'm not going to do it. But then she talked to me. They went back in session. She said, look, Tori got the same communication from our son. I think we should do the reverse vasectomy. And they did, and they gave birth to him. And there you go. So that was one where it was very traumatic, but it ended up very cool. And I know for some people it'll be really weird. And unreal. And I'm sorry, that was the communication, and that's what happened. And I thought it was wonderful. I've had a lot of communication. I believe in communicating. I think we're like radios, right? And if you keep your antennas up, spirits will come and talk to you. I mean, it's really interesting. I've had some very interesting communications from people after they passed away because I keep my antennas up. And it's like, okay, I'm here, and it's been very, very interesting. Starting with my dad. My dad was the first person when I was 22. And it was because he was a celebrity. There were a lot of people there and blah, blah, blah. And we're so sorry your dad is dead. And he was such a great man and all this shit. And I felt so bad hearing that. And so I kind of beamed up and I felt like I contacted him. And it was like, oh, there you are. And so then I started just going around shaking people's hands. And I'd say, thank you very much. He is a great man. And it was like my dad was like, yes, somebody knows I'm still around, as a spirit, not as in physical. But anyway, he was the first person. And then it just went from there. And I have many, many great stories on it, but they're pretty amazing. And some people can't handle it all. And I understand that too. So there you go. All right. So let me check the starred things. All right. Eric has a question. Was there anyone in Scientology that died? Okay. That's the one that I know of, Eric. Okay. Never in from PA. What happens when someone passes in the dorms or hotels? I don't really know. See, I wasn't in the Sea Org. So people that died, I don't really know, what they do. I really don't. If you're talking about the Sea Org, I don't know. If you're talking about public who are like at the Flag Land Base, even that, they never talk about it. So you don't really know. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I mean, I went to one father, he lost his daughter. And I think I've told you guys this, but if you weren't here, it was really spooky. He gave a talk at Celebrity Center out on the grass, pitching his daughter, pitching that somebody would give birth to a baby and give birth to his daughter because she was in an accident and she passed on. And it was just so weird to hear him. It was like somebody selling a car or something. It was like, this is your daughter. They just don't have the same dignity and respect, I think, that most people do for life and death. But life and death for a lot of people is unusual. Even, like my story for some people is probably really weird, but that's the way it was. And the mother was really happy, and the father was too. What happens when someone passes? Okay, we said that. All right. Witness, hi, witness. What is GTSY? I don't know what it is. Somebody else said that to me today, and I didn't know what it was. So I'm asking you. Selma, complicated last name. That's a good one. If you believe when someone dies, they come back to a new body, how do Scientologists explain to themselves that after 21 years pause, there is still no members coming back? I know some that have come back that say they were, and okay, good to see you. Oh, that's really good. Thank you, love it. And thank you, witness. Okay, good to see you. That's good. I do know a couple people that have come back and they have photographs of their last lifetime. And what can I say? It's like, that's their thing. And then Miscavige now has a thing where you can't talk about it at all. It's like these people had stories of last lifetime and this lifetime, and they used to talk about it a lot. But then all of a sudden, whoosh, nope, you can't talk about that anymore. So, all right. Okay, there's that. I love that, Tori, that you got a message. Thank you, Sophie. I know, me too. All right, question. If you believe that when people die, they come back to a new body, how do Scientologists explain to themselves? Oh, that's the same one that I just answered. Members coming back to science. Yeah, not many of them do. I mean, they don't. I mean, I told you I was at the deathbed of a Sea Org member, and I said, she was like, I don't know how to draw my body, Tori. I don't know what to do. And I said, all right, but let's iron out a few things first. And I said, you're a Sea Org member, and you've been a Sea Org member for like 30 years or 40 years. Do you want to come back next lifetime as a Sea Org member? And she went like this, hell no. I said, okay, we can check that off the list. And then I talked to her I knew I would talk to her. Name was Sally Esterman. And I knew a lot of people knew her because she worked with Yvonne. She was like the backside of Yvonne, doing all the admin and stuff like that. But a lot of people knew her and loved her. And I said, people aren't going to know that you're passing away because that's the way it is. But they're going to be sad when they hear it, and they're going to say, I wish I could have said thank you to you because you have worked so hard for so long. And she started crying, in a really nice way. She was like, I think it gave her a lot of relief. And I said, honestly, for you Sea Org members who have worked for years and years, I really feel like Scientology should put on a parade for each Sea Org member. And I know people who think, oh, the Sea Org's full of shit, no, they shouldn't. But when you know the guys and you know how hard they've worked, they should at least have a parade, with drums and trumpets and everything else, kind of thanking them for what they've done, for their contribution. Anyway, she liked it, and she passed away about a week after that, which she was having a very hard time passing away before that. So I think it helped. We kind of talked about what did she want to do, and she had other plans other than Scientology. So I think a lot of people don't come back to Scientology because it's just not it didn't work, right? If it doesn't work, why would you come back to it? Okay, Caroline. And if that didn't answer it, ask me more. My DAA was my first also love. Your DAA. I don't know what that is, unless you mean your dad. If you were trying to say your dad was my first also love. He came and told me that life is actually hilarious and everyone will find out in the end. Oh, I see. So he passed away and he was like, you're the first person, I think this is what you're saying, that passed away that came and told you life is actually, that's what I get. I get that a lot, that it's kind of a big party. People are fine. It's like one of my favorite ones was a lady named Ladybird who I did meet her in person. I went to meet her, but we were really good friends on the internet in 2000. And she helped me a lot. She really helped me a lot. And so now she passed away. And I would sit in my bedroom and I would start crying, thinking about her. And then I would look up and I would just hear her roaring laughter. She had like a big, big laugh. And she would be laughing away. And I'd say, okay, I get it. Which is funny. Okay, so there's that. And here is my aunt reminds me of you. She was 84 when she passed in 2003. She had a kind and sweet mind like you, and she was an amazing lady. Well, thank you very much. What a nice thing to say. I appreciate that. And nice that you knew her. Tori, do you think that we come back? Do you think we come back? Concept is why Scientologists don't make a big deal out of bed. It's part of it. Yeah. Because they really believe you can just drop your body and pick up another one. So that's the whole, it's like, it's just a body. It's nothing. You are what is important. Your body is just a body. It's like a baseball. You lose the baseball, but you still can play the game because of all the other stuff. And so that's how they are. They're very, very glib on bodies. It's like, it's a body. I'll drop it and I'll get another one. So there you go. All right. So, but I do think that's it. Hi, Tori and chat. Hi, Jan. Good to see you. Thank you, DF Flawless. Cool. All right. And Sophie, hi, everyone. Please put questions before your questions and comments before your comments. Good thinking. All right. So I'm going to go back up to the start. All right. Here we go. Okay. We got that one. Tori Magoo 44 question. How does Scientology feel about getting messages from souls who have passed? I think it's all individual. It isn't like Scientology says this or that. It's like I've told that story that I told to you that's about another, soul that had passed on and communicated with me. And some people totally get it and they go, I love that story. And some people are like this, like, they just, you can tell they can't handle it. It's out of their realm of reality. And it's just sort of like, I tell them anyway, because you never know, and it's kind of like maybe they'll expand their horizon a little bit and start thinking a little bit wider than just, here I am on planet Earth. You know what I mean? And I love the thing about the radios because a lot of people, when they lose someone, they're very, very sad. And speaking of that, both Lovett and I came up with a thing where we want to have just a moment of silence in honor of Tony. Because, um, Tony passed away and I just want to have a moment of silence. So, okay. Are you ready, Lovett? Is this good? All right, let's go. Ready? Lovett, you have to let us know when a minute is up. Okay. For Tony. Okay, thank you. I don't know if that was a minute, but when with my eyes closed, I couldn't see if she said it was up or not. Anyway, my big concern is both of them because Natalie's going to have, she's the one that's losing Tony. My thing. There's a wonderful poem. I always forget the name of it. It's a second. I wrote it down because I always forget it. But you guys should all Google it. It's really great. Okay. And of course, now I can't find it, but I did earlier. Ow. Come on. Oh, here it is. Gone from my sight. Okay. So Google that after we're done. Google Gone from My Sight. It is such a beautiful poem. It's really, really wonderful. And anyway, I hope you all look it up. But it definitely, for me, that helps, kind of, because you realize there's the leaving, but then there's the welcoming from the other side. That's what it's about. Anyway, Magoo 44, we love your channel. Thank you for all that you do. Over and out. All right. You are helping so many know the truth about Scientology. Well, good. That's wonderful. I'm really glad to know that. Thank you, Over and Out. I appreciate that. Cassie, please like the live, guys. Oh, yeah, that's right. Please do hit the like button. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Now, this is Verity. Thank you for writing question, which is really personal, and I don't want to intrude, but how did you deal with grief while you were a member of CFS? Were you able to express grief? Of course. I get a little confused on this, on why wouldn't I be able to? It's like, I know when you see the Sea Org, they look like they never have feelings, at least to me. And I used to say that to the executives. I'd say, could you have them smile when they walk down the street, say hello to people, just like be like a person instead of, I'm posting, we're going to our next thing. And, it's so robotic. But certainly the public, remember, there's the Sea Org and public. And I was in the Sea Org for a little bit, but then mostly public. And public um, don't have the same restrictions that the Sea Org has. The Sea Org, you are working for them, you are living with them, you are with them 24/7. Public, you have a job, you have a house, you have children if you have children. And then if you decide to go on a course, you go on course usually at night because you're working in the day. Or if you work at night, you do it in the day, that kind of thing. But it's usually most of the courses are filled at night. And then auditing is the same, where you would work in the day and get auditing at night and pay for it. That's how it is. All right. So I hope that answered it. Were you able to express grief? Absolutely. Always. It's like, it's one of the many tone levels. I believe in emotion. I'm a Cancer. Cancers are very emotional. And people would always say that. They'd say, God, you wear your emotions on your sleeve. And I'd say, yeah, but at least you always know how I feel. It isn't like I'm some secret thing and, you're trying to figure out. It's like, I'm going to tell you. That's the way it is. Okay, Nanya. Life is funny. If you don't laugh, you're in trouble. Very true. Yeah, Jessica and I both agreed on that because I told her my original, for my videos, they're often, the beginning of them are kind of goofy because I believed in keeping it light. And because there were so many people in 2000 that had these very serious videos about the cult of Scientology. And it was just too much. I just thought it's just too much for people. So more people started, I got Mr. Anonymous. I met Andreas and he gave me Mr. Anonymous and, I'd bring him out and, he'd say hi and he became kind of a fan of a lot of the people on YouTube. He's a popular guy, aren't you? Yeah. But, I had goofy things and a lot of people said your goofiness is what got us to watch your videos. And then from that we left. So there you go. All right. I think grief is high on the tone scale. No, not really. It's not. I don't have the tone scale here with me, but I know it isn't. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see. I know I tried to look this up before for the tone scale, and it wasn't in the tech thing. You'd think it would be. Let's look and see. We'll just look at what grief is. G. GR. Grief. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really show it. It just shows somebody crying. Grief takes place where one recognizes his loss and failure, as in the death of somebody he loved and tried to help. Yep. I'll have to find a tone scale. Oh, there's probably one online too. That's the other thing. You can look it up online and see where it is. I think you're right. It's a little bit, but it's not high. I know it isn't high. It might be higher than the middle one. And then from then on it's low. But I'll have to look it up. Do Scientologists believe in ghosts? Some do. Some do. It just depends. Scientologists are all different. So some do, some don't. Most I think don't, but some do probably. Is it true that Elridge tried to get someone to add voltage to his e-meter to off himself? I don't think so. I don't know that story. I don't. That's a pretty weird one. Yeah, I caught alive. Hi all. Love your stories, Tori. Hey, thank you. It's the bikers taking down Scientology. I want you to really make that serious and start coming around. I think it'd be really, really cool. You could really make a difference. Oh, that's right. You're in another state, though. That's right. But maybe you could talk to, bikers I know. I remember I used to have a boyfriend who was a biker, and they can communicate in long distances. And you could spread the word, if they're in LA. to start driving around the complex. It'd be good. Rest in peace. Yes. I always say fly high because I figure that's what I think. I somehow I don't think people are resting in peace that much. Maybe they are. I guess it depends on the person. Hey, Sophie, I like all your hearts. And that's so cute. And birds. All right, and here's the bikers taking down Scientology. Our Tony Strong. Really, really. And Natalie. And we're sending you love, 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 woman. I mean, their love has been wonderful, I think, for everybody to watch. It's been really beautiful. And I'm happy that Aunt Aaron, went to help her, I think. I think he went there, I think, because he sounded like he was going home. He said he'd be back in Clearwater. So anyway, fortunately, Natalie has a beautiful family and extended family and thousands of supporters. Yeah, very true. She does. And I think she'll be good. She'll be fine. What up, Tori? You're a rock star. Enough. Duff Nug. All right. Thank you. All right. I can't remember who said it, but I always love this. Grief is the price we pay for love. That's a good one. That is a very good one. Thank you, Sophie. Confident Chris, here he is. He's in the house. Tori, I called you and you didn't reply. Did you call my cell phone or my home phone? Because the home phone, for whatever reason now, it's not ringing. So I don't even hear it. I called you back, no answer. All right, I'll try to call you. But I tried to call you the other night and you said it was too late. So I don't know what, you have to tell me what time is your late time. How late can I call you? All right, because we got to get together. I wanna see you. Sophie, we will try to stay on the topic of death and Scientology. So please try to ask questions relating to this. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Hi, Tori, mods, and chat. All right, Drifter Shelley. All right. And here's one. Hi, Tori. Greetings to you and the chat on this fine morning in UK. All right. Wait, I got to go back up to the stars things. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Question, what is a typical Scientology funeral? People ask me that a lot, and they don't have them. They really don't. They don't. They don't announce that someone died. They don't have funerals. I mean, they may have some. I may be wrong. Maybe there's one or two, but I think I only knew one of my friends that died, and he was an opinion leader. He was the first OT8 who passed away. And so they had made it a big deal. And even then it was very funny because they had a picture of him. It was in the backyard. Barry Klein was going to be the minister. It was up against, like, let's say behind me is a big wall with all kinds of, green stuff coming down, right? And up above the wall was a house. So Barry was up against the wall talking to the people who were like out here. And the photograph was up here. And he starts, and this is so typical of Scientology. I mean, they just aren't serious on this kind of thing. And he starts in talking, and these dogs start going, and they're just over his head barking like mad. And it's like, I'm sorry, but it was just funny. It just was. It was like he's trying to talk and give this serious, say go, and their big thing is say goodbye to so and so, whoever it is, say goodbye to him. And so he was trying to talk and give some kind of a speech, and the dogs were barking on top of him. And finally, the picture goes thud because it was real windy, and the picture of him blows over. And Barry says, okay, everybody just say goodbye to Ed. And that was it. And I don't know what else happens. I mean, I've never seen any other things than that. So I don't really know. Maybe they have some and I just wasn't invited to them or something. I don't know. But that one was the one, that I know. Okay, Tori, I have a question. I have a mom that emailed me. Her daughter is in the org that I protest. She would like to contact with her. Do I just start yelling outside the org? I don't, I know that Phil has said that for his son because his son is at Celebrity Center and he's asked the guys that were protesting around that restaurant to just go across the street and say, Michael Jones, please call your mom. So you could try that, but I think a better way, let's see. I think a better way would be to get the name of the daughter and bring her flowers. And I did that I talked one of my friends into that. He wasn't going to do anything. He said, no, I don't want to be the bad guy when she comes out. And I said, Dave, she's never going to come out. It's not going to happen. And so he said, well, what can I do? And I said, bring her flowers, bring her candy, bring her cookies, whatever. Just start going there and making a presence known. So he did. And he was really big and, he'd go in and they'd throw him out and, it would upset the rest of the staff. Right. And so he did it every week and they'd throw him out. And so then finally they got the PR people to come try to handle him. Right. And finally they kicked her out. She was in the Sea Org. They kicked her out and she said, I'm done. And she left. So that's what I would say. You could try the yelling, but me personally, I don't think, I would do the Michael Jones thing because his father asked for that. But I think in general, I don't think just being outside yelling, she's probably not going to hear it. They'll make sure she doesn't hear it. But if you bring flowers or candy or something like that and say, this is from your mother, she would like to talk to you. And they'll be like, what are you doing here? And you say, I'm in touch with her mother, so-and-so's mother, and she wants to talk to her daughter. So I'm just here bringing some flowers and I would like to set that up. Can you help me? And they'll say, no, get out, or you never know, they change all the time. So you never know. They might see you, not know you and go, well, you can think about it and go, look, I know you guys in general. If they start being snarly, you can say, look, you guys know this doesn't work. It doesn't. So why don't we try something that does work? Communication. That's what you guys say you're about. So why not try it? Give it a shot. You kind of have to be willing to get into it with them. You can't just stand outside and yell. I don't think so. Is it me or is there a slight beeping going on here? It might be I have the fan going on. So it might be the fan. But, okay, now this is 86 GOP. Tori, although I have left the movement, I wanted to tell you that I respect your dedication, honesty, and grace. Best of luck to you. Well, okay. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for everything you did do, too. All right. Hi, Tori from the City of Angels. Hello. And here's from the bikers taking down Scientology. Grief is 0.5 on the tone scale. That's what I thought. It's way low. It's not high. I didn't think so. Thank you. Thank you for getting that for me. Because I thought, no, it's not high. Hello, Tori. I just woke up in Italy. Hi, Anna. Wow, I just was looking at Serge and Michael's videos. They have some videos up. They're in Italy. They went to Italy and it's so pretty there. Oh my goodness. Such a beautiful country. So that's wonderful that you're there. Maui 1219. Hi, Tori. Hello, Maui. Fluffer Squirrel, you okay? Hi. Hey, all. Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Here's a link from Gone from My Sight. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a really good poem. It really is. It's very, very moving. Good morning, Tori, Moz, and all from the UK. Hey, enjoy the UK. And Sophie, you enjoy New Zealand. Question: did Hubbard get a funeral? No. Can you please talk about the response by members to his death? Well, remember, the whole death thing happened in an auditorium. That's where we found out about it. It was an all hands, everybody be there. And, they announced L. Ron Hubbard had reached a certain height on the bridge to total freedom and couldn't go any higher. He needed to get higher to, do more research. That's what they said. And I remember sitting there and going, bullshit. It just, I had been through so much, with things that just didn't add up. And I just thought, bullshit. But anyway, I didn't say anything. I just sat there. And then they said Pat and Annie Broker were going to take over the Church of Scientology per LRH. That's what he wanted. But then whoosh, this really skinny, short guy jumped in front of anybody that was there, David Miscavige, and announced, I am taking over the Church of Scientology. And I didn't really give a shit because I had lost my son. And I was like, I have to find my son. I had gone up to Delphi, which is up by where we were, Lovett, today. That's where I went up there, way up in the mountains. Not in the mountains, but we were out of Burbank, and he wasn't there. And so then I zoomed back down to the complex, and he wasn't there. So then I zoomed over to the plate where the auditorium was, where they were announcing it. And now there's like 800,000 people in line waiting to get in. So I just did my excuse me, and got up to the front. And I said, look, I have to find my son. I'm really frightened. I don't know where he is. And so they said, okay, get some friends. So we got a couple of friends at each door to be there when it let out, because we couldn't find him going in. I stood there while everybody went in. And so my attention was not on L. Ron Hubbard at this point. It was on my son and my friends too. And so they're at each door, and the whole announcement happens. Miscavige takes over. Everybody's into this, don't ask, don't tell. Just don't say a thing. Don't ask about it. Don't talk about it. That's it. It's done. And that's just the way they are. So I'm busy trying to find my son. So the whole place empties out. I go see all my friends. They go, he didn't come out any of the doors. So we go, okay, where else could he be? And they go, Celebrity Center. So now we all zoom over to Celebrity Center, and we go all around Celebrity Center. Justin. He's not there. So now these guys have to go home, and they're like, I'm really sorry. You better call the police. And not like you can call the police on Scientology, but about my son, a missing child, right? And so I just thought, now I'm going to go back to where he originally was going to come from Delphi down to the complex and then over to this Palladium. And so I went there, and there he is hanging in the tree. Mom, hi, how are you? Such a goofball. Anyway, I was so happy to see him. But that was my night of L. Ron Hubbard dying. It was like, who cares? I wanted to find my son. It was like, I really wasn't there to hear that. And then from then on, it was all don't ask, don't tell. Miscavige is taking over. The finance police came in right after that. And if you asked anything, now I don't even know what all happened in it, because I just was like, I'm working. I'm not talking to anybody. Leave me alone. And I'm going home, and I'm with my son. That's it. So there you go. It's not much information, but that's what happened to me. And also what was the response is for years and years and years, people have still been connecting what happened. Because when you're in, you can't talk about it. So it's once you wake up and leave, then you start finding out all these missing pieces of data that you didn't know. So that, one of them, I can tell you this though, because this is a good one. One of them, well, I'll tell you another time, but remind me, it's one about Jesse Prince and how did Miscavige take over? And if you want me to hear it now, let me know. Okay, Caroline. And in the end, I will seek you out amongst the stars. The space dust of me will whisper, I love you. Into infinity of the universe. David Jones, Love and Space Dust. Nice. Beautiful. Really nice. Okay, and this is Anna. Relatable Reese has a video of a funeral in KCMO. Okay, very disturbing. All don't cry. This is a party. We can't be sad. Ugh, God, awful. No, I don't think I was ever at a funeral. So it's good to know she has one if you want to go there and watch it. Question, when people died in Scientology, did they have a coroner take the body away? I did. My dear friend, who was my roommate here for 7 years, passed away. And I said to him, look, I want you to, because I knew he was a big control freak. So I said, you figure out how you want this done, and you let me know, and I will do it, whatever you want. So he found the coroner. He found a really cool coroner. They came. I said to the hospice, I don't know what to do. What do I do? And she took out a book and she opened it up and she said, you just have to go like this. I mean, this isn't the book, but you just write on here what time and a line, just the time of death. That's why you always see it in the movies. I never clicked with me that that's what it was, but they always want you to record the time of death. So they did that, and then they were just very cool. The coroners came and they knocked on the door. Can we bring in, a thing to put John on? And I said, yes. And then they put him on it. And they said, could we put a sheet over him? And I said, yeah. They were just very gracious. And then one of my friends, anyway, it was just very, very nice. His other daughter was here also. So anyway, that was that. But yeah, and he had figured out he wanted to be cremated. So that's what happened there. And he found out where he wanted to be cremated, and we had that done. An old lady was taken out of the ambulance last week. An old lady where? I mean, you've got to add a little bit more. An old lady from St. Louis, or, I don't know what that means. Okay. Wait a minute. Everything went away. What happened? Everything went away. The last thing they want is someone talking about their mothers so they can try to get them to leave. Okay, all the comments went away. Come on, come back. Okay, here they are. Okay, the last thing they want. Damn it. Okay, it's Mike Sandoval. Hi. The last thing they want is someone talking to their mother so they can try to get them to leave. Yeah, they don't want them talking to their family because the family will say leave. Yeah, true. Hi, Tori. Hi, RYU legend. All right. RU _ legend. All right. Hi, lovely Italy. Oh, I love Italy. Hi, Witness. Are you in Italy? I told you that Serge and Michael are now. Oh, they got beautiful photographs of it. We got a video of it. Question, Tori, is Paulette Cooper still alive? Her story is fascinating. She's very much alive. She's actually on TV even. She's a wonderful person, and she's very much alive, and her story is a great story. Sophie, if you would like to support Tori, here are the links. Okay, thank you for putting those links there. And I never know if they're going to work here. If they don't, you can go under Tori Magoo 44. It says for more information, Tori, and there's links there, and you can click on it. Because now YouTube has this whole new thing. I mean, it's really, Aaron explained it. All right, July 5th, Cancer. All right. Okay, good. Hi, Tori. Jumping in from Tasmania, Australia. Wow. We great power rebels got the years, but your skill set is almost unique. Really? Now, first of all, let me clarify. I don't know what gray power is. And more than one person has said that to me lately. Does that mean for older people we're gray power? Maybe because of the gray hair, we have gray power. I don't know. That's what I think. If it's something else, let me know. And but my skill set is almost unique. Okay. Can you expound on that? I would like to know what my skill set is. It's good to know that I have a unique skill set. Thank you for telling me. Let me know if you think of it. What keeps people in Scientology? The idea of eternal life after death on the planet with Elrond. No, I think the main thing that keeps people in is their friends. That's what I think. And I mean, originally when we all got in, like I got in 1969, and what kept us in then was hope, because Hubbard was doing research and it was sort of like this odd guy out on a boat. We were public. So, I mean, I was in the Sea Org for a little bit, but mostly public. And so we were following, what he was doing. And they'd be like, L. Ron Hubbard's doing this today. And he came up with this. And we actually, my ex-husband and I he has a huge notebook of personal handwritten letters to his parents because they got in 1950. And it was amazing to read. It was like they gave it to him right. I mean, the father passed away and then the mother gave it to Harold. And it was like, we're so, dear Flo and Paul, which they're on some of the videos. He says hello to Wing and Smokey Angel and Flo and Paul Bazazian. And that's them. And he wrote them and he'd say, dear Mr. and Mrs. Bazazian, I'm so sorry that X didn't work, but I'm coming up with Y. And thank you for the $10,000 because they were always giving him money. And so years later, Flo asked him, why did you not put us on the tapes? Because there were so many other people. And he said, because you kept Scientology alive in Chicago for them. So they both were big Scientologists. So that's what I think. That's what keeps them in is mostly people, originally hope. And then once it doesn't really work, it's their friends, and people. Hey, everyone lurking while I'm working. All right, Perth. Good. Scientology audit. Okay, cool. And here's Fluffer Squirrel. Yes, please, Jesse Prince story. Okay. All right, let me answer these questions first. Hi from Washington State, from T. Bresser. All right, cool. Washington State. That's a beautiful state. Okay, Witness. I love Jesse Prince stories. Yeah, this one. I may have told you guys this story. That's why I'm not sure. But probably some people didn't hear it. Relatable Reese video has a congregation at a funeral with whistleblowers and noisemakers. Ew, God. I don't know. To me, that just seems really hokey. We love you, Tori. Thank you, Squirrel of Oz. I love that, Nick. And hi, Witness. No, I'm in San Diego. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. To go whale watching down here. That's right. I've got to do that. I have to do that. I have like a list a mile long because I was doing so much stuff with the encampment that I got way behind on a whole bunch of stuff. And yours is one of them. Witness whale watching. Okay. And it's an email. All right. Excuse me. Thank you for reminding me. All right, Scientology in Philly and DC. So sad about Paulette Cooper. What happened about Paulette Cooper? I don't know. What are you sad about? As far as I know, she's fine. That Paulette stuff was next level. I'm sorry, I don't know what you guys are referring to. We are so lucky to have Tori to ask questions. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, what happened to Paulette? I have signed books of hers. Yeah, I have a whole thing she gave me for courage. It's really cool. She picked 5 people on ARS 5 that she gave. It's kind of like a certificate of courage from Paulette Cooper and a copy of her book. It's really neat. I'll show you guys one night. It really meant a lot to me. Great power is simply respect for the wisdom of elders. All right, cool. So I was sort of close. Thank you, Janelle. I appreciate that. Sophie, we are very lucky to have Tori indeed. She's a blessing. Oh, thank you, Arlene. That's nice, both of you. Comment, I was told by Scientology my dad had to be cremated because there were historical examples of skulls being used in circus acts causing present lifetime problems. I thought they had lost. Honestly, you never know with Scientology what they're going to come up with next. I mean, I'm sorry to laugh at that, but it's just sort of like, come on. But I have heard so many weird things that it's unbelievable. It is. But that's, I do think I remember something about the skulls. Oh, God. Great power is simply, okay, we did that one. Okay, we did that one. Okay, there's that. LDS and Scientology operate, all the cults operate very similarly. That's what Lovett and I were talking about today. Excuse me. I love Tori's approach. It feels comfortable for me as a duchy. Honest, open, and straight to the point. Thank you for all you do, Tori. You are welcome. Thank you very much for such a nice compliment. What is your Selma complicated last name? I love that, Nick. Remember, I was married to a Bizazian. So I was very happy when I got divorced. Wasn't happy about losing my husband, but I was happy about being able to get back to Chrisman, which is just Christ man. It's just very easy. Instead of B as in boy, E, Z as in zebra, A-Z, I-A-N. And no one ever gets it, so you have to do it 2 or 3 times. It's like, oh, hey. Interesting. I had a Hare Krishna tell me, even if you could prove this is all nonsense, I would still be a Hare Krishna because it's fun. Wow. And that is the cultiest thing I've ever heard. I have heard very similar stories from Scientologists. It's like it doesn't matter if you prove it. That's the scary thing of it, because it doesn't matter if you prove whatever you're saying is true and theirs is false. So what? They don't care. They're sticking with Scientology. Okay, go for it. But the sad thing is, you and I know they're just ripping them off for money. And it doesn't work. I mean, my husband was OT8, a wreck, and all the other OT8s. Anyway, I want to get to the Jesse Prince story. I love Tori's approach. Okay, so we got that. Good. And this is about the Hare Krishnas. I think, yeah, they're identical. All right, exactly. All right, how did people respond to L. Ron Hubbard's death? And can you please talk about how the church responded? I think I did. I think I answered that one. If I didn't, let me know. Witness. I love it when Tori laughs about how nutso Scientology is. It's just so kooky. You know what I mean? And you just think, oh my God, I was part of this. It's just, I remember when I was 22, I had just joined Scientology, and they put up this whole thing of L. Ron Hubbard, director of this film, right? And so we're all sitting there, and I'm thinking, wow, he's a director. It is the hokiest, corniest movie I'd ever seen, ever. I remember sitting in the chair going, dear God, don't let my don't let my parents see this movie. Because I didn't know. I thought if he's a director, they could put it on TV. And if my parents saw it, I knew they'd be there with the police. It's like, we're getting her out. That's it. I mean, the thing was nuts. And that was the beginning. And I stayed. It's like, oy, it's unbelievable. But I feel the same, Witness. It's Mike Sandoval. All right. Was a Hare Krishna for 20 years. Whoa, that's a big one. You had to do those jingle bells and stuff. Another corny one. We love this woman. This is a safe place for respect. Thank you, Squirrel of Oz. I agree. I like having a place that's comfortable and people are comfortable here. Okay, question from Eric. When you were in Scientology, did you ever be with anyone by their bedside for their last days before they died, and did some words of wisdom with them? Yes, I told you, the lady that passed away. I told you that I just went over this earlier. So maybe you missed it. Go back and listen, because I explained the whole thing. She worked with Yvonne, and I said, thousands of people are going to wish they could say thank you to you. And she started crying in a good way. It was like a good tear. And I have talked to a lot of people who said, oh, I would have loved to have said thank you to her. And I said, I did. I said, I tell everyone that knew her, because it's tricky. I know that from my dad. He passed away, and, he just had a heart attack and died. And so many people all of my life come up to me and go, I knew your dad. He helped me. I wish I could have thanked him. I wish I could have said this, that. And so I know, it's important you say to people you love, tell them now. So yeah, I did do that, Eric, but you can go back and listen to it. Tori, my last name is Van Sling the Horts, unpronounceable to English speakers. So that's why you've got the Nick. Good, very good, very smart. So that's a good one, because that is hard to do. Okay, here's Caroline. Tori, when I had morning sickness, my ex told me it was from engrams, probably caused by my mother's flatulence, or from my parents having sex while pregnant with me. That's what saved me from COS. Exactly. I mean, they have the weirdest stuff. The weirdest stuff. I mean, they're weird is their middle name. Hey, Cheddars. This is from Love It. We could all help Natalie by playing a lot of her content so she can still get paid but take time off. Yeah, listen to her other videos. That's a good thought, Love It. Thank you. Comment, my mom learned about many religions, but when the Buddhists said that she had to denounce every other religion, she was like, no. She always said that there's truth in everything. Good for your mom. Good for her. There you go. And this is from Scientology Audit Philly and DC. Tori, wasn't Paulette Cooper set up by Scientology? Yeah, she was. I mean, there's a whole story on her. It's a monstrous story. I mean, Tony and she wrote a book together about the whole thing. But yeah, she's definitely got a huge story, and she was set up by Scientology. But I'm not going to go into it here because it's just a gigantic story. But you should get her book because it's a really good book. Or just look it up on YouTube. There's tons of stuff about her on Paulette Cooper. Comment, thanks for laughing at skulls. I thought it was just me. I'm sure half of it is made up on the spot to meet their agenda. Who knows? I mean, Scientologists are such weirdos, you know, and I think I was one of the lesser weirdos because of epilepsy, thankfully. I mean, isn't that ironic? You know, that something like that they put down for 30 years ended up being what really got me out, because I just was done. I was just done fighting with them. And like I said, I tell people it was sort of like I was trying to swim up Niagara Falls, and I got with these critics and they were like, you know, you could just take one of these inner tubes and just slide down. And I was like, really? And that was it. I was out, you know, but I mean, it was Andreas and everything else, but that was part of it, was that was a funny, what happened is they declared me an honorary SP3. Did I tell you that? And I was like, no, I can't accept that. You know, my nickname was Magoo on the thing. And I was like, no, I can't accept that. And I shut down the computer right away. I was like, no, I can't be an SP. Because they had all these different levels for SPs. And so now I was an SP3. They were making me an SP3. And they said, dear Magoo, you know, you are such a bad example of a Scientologist. Which is kind of true, that we're declaring you an honorary SP3, right? So that's what it was. And I thought, no, I can't be an SP. So I shut down my computer, and I was just like vacuuming, and I was just like, all of a sudden it just hit me. And I thought, you know, honorary SP3. And the whole thing just clicked. You know, I got the funniness of it. You know what I mean? It's never funny in the church. It's very serious. You know, you're declared suppressive. And just like me, now she's an undercover CIA agent, you know, and all this. They're just nuts. But for me, I'm vacuuming away and I'm thinking, honorary SP3. I can handle that. So I turn back on my computer and I say, all right, you know, Magoo accepts. And so from then on, I was the honorary SP3. And it just had a different twist to it. You know, it felt like I'd gotten in the inner tube and gone down the Niagara Falls at that point. Anyway, let me see. All right, this is Kiko. Darn, I'm late. Hi, everyone. Don't worry about it. It's all there. Paulette's story is over, I think, decades. Yeah. Took her forever to clear her name. It did. Well, I mean, back in I think it was the 70s, because we had just gotten married, 74. And right after that was the big raid at Celebrity Center where the Guardian's office was. And they were about ready to put Paulette Cooper in prison. And then they had that raid. And it turned out to be the biggest break-in of the government offices, I think, in history. It was like really where Scientologists had broken in and stolen stuff and stuff like that. And that in there, when they went through the Guardian's office, they found her whole program for Paulette Cooper, and she was released. You know, it was just like, no, you're not going to jail. She was close. It was very close. Eric, your dad, Paul, and my grandpa, Gus, would have been good. They were born a year apart. 1918 and 1917. They would have been 106 and 107. Really? They loved football and saw it on TV. He probably saw your dad. I can't believe he'd be 106 and 107. I didn't know he was born. I didn't know when he was born. That's amazing. That's freaky. Wow. Thank you for that, Eric. All right. So I think he was 1918, I think. But that's unbelievable. So he was 106 or 7. Unbelievable. Wouldn't that have been amazing if he would have lived? Okay, Natalie's GoFundMe. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, because she definitely is going to need help on that. So we all got to chip in on that. And that's the thing, even if you only have a little bit of money, every bit helps. All right, and this is Sophie. Question: can you please explain the concept of we come back? And do people believe that their children are other Scientologists who have passed away? Some do. It's not talked about a lot, but some, yes, some do think that they're, or they're, I don't think they think their children, let's see, did people believe that their children are other Scientologists who have passed away? It could be. I haven't really met any. I know someone who has definite proof that he lived before. And anyway, I'm not going to get into it because it's part of my family thing. But it's unusual. The whole group is unusual. We Come Back is basically originally a Sea Org concept. And it's like, that's why they have the billion-year contract, because they come back. See, so you live this lifetime, but you're going to come back. But Sally Esterman proved not her. She's not coming back. And I bet most of them, no way. It's too much work. And they never cleared anything. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for saying that. All right. Your dad and grandpa probably met in heaven. Ah, that's nice. That's very sweet, Eric. I bet you're right. Okay, please support Natalie. We are almost double the goal. Let's triple it. Ooh, nice. Really nice, Caroline. Thank you. Sophie, all right. Can you explain the concept of a past life clear? Here's how it was explained to me. Arthur Hubbard, who is one of L. Ron Hubbard's sons, asked me out for lunch. And because I have epilepsy, I was like, I'm not going to go clear. Clear is a perfect memory, a perfect IQ, which neither one of those I had. No somatics, no pains. Well, with epilepsy, you can't say you have no somatics, no pains. So I was out of the ballpark. Now, what happened is they kept changing the definition of clear. So other people would attest to it, but I was like, no, I'm not going along with that. I go along with the original definition, and that's what it is. So Arthur took me out to lunch, and he asked me what my story was, and I explained that I'd read 3 chapters of Dianetics while I was in college in Chicago, realized I wanted to be an auditor, packed up my bags, had an argument with my dad, packed up my bags, and hitchhiked from Chicago to LA, to ASHO, to become an auditor. And he goes like this. And this is before Last Lifetime Clear was, I never heard the word, ever. And he goes like this, you're a last lifetime clear. And it just all, and this is how Scientology works, and probably a lot of cults. It's sort of like, it's like dominoes, where all of a sudden, all the things that didn't fit, all of a sudden they fit. It's like, oh. And it was still a little hard for me because Dianetics was 1950. But he said, yeah, but my dad did research much earlier. So he probably did research with you, and you were a last lifetime clear. And then passed away, came back, and here you are. And so anyway, that's all I know about last lifetime clears. That's the only thing I've ever heard of it. I've heard the concept, but nobody ever talks about it. But that's the only thing I know personally. That's what it was. Anyway, I hope that helps. Tori, the largest infiltration of the U.S. government. Yeah, 11 people were involved, including Mary Sue Hubbard. Let's not forget that. Good old L. Ron Hubbard throws his wife under the bus and says, no, I didn't write those programs. She did. Put her in prison. And they did. It was just unbelievable. And she never, ever got to speak again after that. We met her because Harold knew her from being a little kid. And we'd meet her at, the movies and stuff like that. And she always had bodyguards with her. And she'd be like, "Hey, Harold, hi, Tori, how are you?" And we'd be like, "Good, how are you?" It was very, good roads, fair weather. And that was it. They kept her in a house, and she never, ever got any money from any of the family or anything. They just kind of kept her there until she died. It's kind of sad. Okay, good morning, everyone, from a poet. All right, Brian Lucas. Okay, nice to know. All right, hit the like button, y'all. Thank you. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, here's one more. Oh, no, wait, here's a bunch of them. I missed you. Thank you. No, wait, this is Reese's. Reese's former father-in-law was con- convinced either his son or his grandson was his father. Yeah, that happens a lot in Scientology. I mean, I met a ton. I mean, that's the other thing is all these people that say, I was, you know, Julius Caesar, and I was Cleopatra. And, it's like, I told you, I met the one guy at Denny's that said, I had a great session. And I said, really, what happened? And he said, I found out I was Julius Caesar. And I thought, wow, I'm meeting and having lunch with Julius Caesar. I mean, I was like really a typical doughhead, right? And so then I said, well, it was really a pleasure meeting you. I've got to go. And I went to another booth and I sat down and this guy said, I had a really good session today. And I said, really, what happened? And he said, I found out I am Julius Caesar. And that's when I had the Homer Simpson bubble. It's like, this is a bunch of bullshit. But of course you can't talk about it. You can't say, I just met Julius Caesar. You can't do that. So it's very tricky in that way. But yeah, a lot of people think they're their mothers or fathers or brothers or sisters anyway. Did L. Ron Hubbard explain everything before he passed on, or did he leave some work undone or unfinished? He didn't explain anything. He way left the group long before he passed away, and he just wanted the money. That was it. He said, "I want $1 million a week." That's the Jesse Prince story. That's really what happened. Is because I'm just going to stop for a minute and tell you that, because I asked Jesse, I said, all right, how did Miscavige take over? I mean, how did this happen? Actually, I think I should make it a topic for tomorrow, because I want to have his name in the title. So I'll tell you tomorrow, and remind me, love it, tomorrow, that's what I'm going to tell. It's the Jesse Prince story about David Miscavige and how did David Miscavige take over. That'll be a good one. All right, we're going to wait on that, because I wanted it in the title. All right, did Elron explain? Okay, I never knew there were SP levels. Well, there aren't. See, there aren't. This was the critics making it up. They were making fun of SP. Do you see what I mean? So it was all the way up. I ended up being SP 13 because I went into court and I won. I beat him. So I was SP 13. And then they added with a cumulative cluster. So I'm SP 13 with a cumulative cluster. All right, your dad would have been 106 and my grandpa would have been 107 since they were a year apart. Okay, good to know. Thank you for letting me know that, Eric. I really appreciate that. Wow. Question, if you're declared suppressive, then do you come back next life, or is it only for Scientologists? That's a very good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that, Sophie. If you're an SP, would you come back next lifetime? Well, they figured, that his description of an SP is one of the most evil people on the planet, just so you know. So you're talking to one of the most evil people on the planet. Thank you very much. And I think they'd come back. I do. I mean, why not? I mean, would they come back as an SP? The whole thing's bullshit anyway. So, who knows? I mean, they've never said that. They don't say once you're declared an SP next lifetime, you're going to be an SP. They don't say that. They don't talk about that. But that's a good question. I've never heard anybody ask that. That's a good question. Hi, Tori, just back from the beach vacation. Took my computer out on the balcony and watched you in the ocean. Oh, how nice, Janet. That sounds wonderful. All right, and this is from Selma, complicated last name, comment. If you watch the Real Housewives of Scientology video that Aaron and Reese did about half a year ago, you will see how weird and crazy schio parents can get. I know personally how weird they can get. But yeah, that's a good one for other people. Throw Mary Sue under the bus. He did. He did. He did. They threw me under the bus too, just so you know, if you missed that one. Was Hubbard still alive when Sue got out? Mary Sue. It's Mary Sue. It's not Sue. I think he was. I think so. Did they stay together after being in prison? No. She was always on her own. He was separate. It was just like that was it. She was in a house here, I think in Los Feliz. Love it. There are a whole lot of past life Cleopatras. I know, there really are. It's ridiculous. Luckily, I was never one of those. I never had that. Mary Sue, sorry. That's okay. No, you don't have to be sorry. That's fine. I understand. Big hug from the Netherlands. Thank you, Peter and Marge Van Essen. All right. Thank you. Enjoy the Netherlands. All right. Question. How is it justified that people can be the same person in a past life? Oh, that's the trick of a cult. You can't talk about it. So that one guy told me he was Julius Caesar, and the other guy told me he was Julius Caesar. But because I knew you cannot ever talk about someone's case, and that would be considered their case because it was last lifetime. Even if it's this lifetime, it's like you can't talk about it. So that's just the way it is. So everyone, imagine thousands of people with all these secrets, that are, I call it the closet, where you just had to put it in the closet and go, I'll think about it later. It's very weird, very weird. All right, this is from Witness. Wow, SP13. Yeah, exactly. With cumulative cluster. Don't forget that. I know it was pretty big. I think that was the highest because I won in the court case. I beat him. 4 a.m. in Ocala. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Inspired horsemanship. Ooh, I love horses. All right. Bikers taking down Scientology. 2 a.m. in Montana. Oh, nice. That's right. You're in Montana. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. It's Mike Sandoval. Hare Krishna say that those that leave are in Maya, and they call them worse than non-Hare Krishnas, and they act like it's really rare anyone leaves when it's actually the opposite. Scientology is the same. It's like they declare anybody that now he declares anybody off the wall, SP, that for whatever reason. And then, nobody can talk to him, nobody at all. But the people inside think there's only a few people that are declared suppressive. They have no idea how many people are out here that are their friends. If they just came out, they wonder where their friends are. They're out here. Love to all SPs. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, they're a good group of people. Good morning from Norway. All right, Maya, aka Alice in Art Supply Hoarderland. That's funny. Eric, okay, it's amazing that Elron was 74 when he passed and Mary Sue was 71 when she passed. They both died in their 70s. Yeah, interesting. Very close. I didn't know that either. Thank you, Eric. 1 a.m. here in Culver City. Fellow night owls here staying up late for midnight with Magoo. True. All right. I think we should soon end off. Let's see. Wait, here's one thing. Let's see. Good morning from Norway. Okay, we got that. Eric said his thing. There we go. All right, so I think we're done. 1 a.m. in California, fellow night owls. Okay, good. All right, so I think that's it. So let's plan on tomorrow night. We will tell the Jesse Prince story. Thanks for all being the best chatterers. Please donate to Natalie's GoFundMe if you're all able, and send Natalie and Tony lots of love and blessings. And let's light candles for Tony so that he's got candles lit and, lighting on the way. Oh, wow, now a whole bunch of people popped up. What happened? Did we have one of those raids? Oh my God, this is a whole bunch. Or is this just more of them came back? Well, anyway, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming here. Yeah, I like the idea of the lights. Let's all light a candle and keep it lit for Tony. Okay? So we'll light a candle for Tony. And I will see you all tomorrow. And good morning from Scotland, Joe. All right. I love you guys. Sleep tight. Thank you. Thank you, Sophie. And thank you, Love It, for being such wonderful moderators. Thank you. And thank all of you for being such wonderful people. All right. Good night.